The human man, tall, thin, wiry, pale skin, wearing an expensively tailored suit, sat across the large wooden desk from a distraught Canidor. She was bruised, and holding an ice pack over her non-cybernetic right eye. "Well, Miss August, you have failed 3 times. He shook his head slowly. "What do you have to say for yourself?" I'm sorry, sir. It was a mistake. I thought the law was otherwise occupied while we were extorting the shop. And you didn't think to check the scanner? The one with all the police codes programmed into it? No, sir. I forgot. Her head slumped to the desk. I take full responsibility. Give me your pinky. Sir. Your pinky. I can't have a valuable member lose all of her worth to our organization by killing her. He smiled. Cut off your pinky as a show of dedication. He placed his K-bar on the desk. She slowly picked up the knife while a well-dressed lackey placed a cutting board on the desk. With an unsteady hand, she chopped off her left pinky finger. Good. Get this brave soul a towel. He looked at the lackey, who immediately turned and ran. He looked back to Miss August. Don't let it happen again. Then, at the age of 6, Robert Jackman attended his best friend's funeral. Cut down in front of him on the school playground in a gang fight. He cried. 4 years, and too many funerals later, he was a runner for 3 gangs, and the fastest runner in the neighborhood. 4K in pocket, he was starting his last delivery for the night, when it happened. 4 men stepped out of a rusted van and opened up on the gang corner. In seconds the 3 gangs' corner was empty, except for the bodies. He ran for home. High school. Last week before graduation. A different state. He was sitting in class with John and Tom talking about the future when it happened. Aliens were real. Post-high school. They had passed. Well, John and Tom had made the cut. Only 3 spaces on the dauntless mission for microwave comtechs, and Robert was number 5. He had a stomach bug, so he had given his friends the $300 he had saved for the bar trip. A drunk box truck driver had totaled the cab, his friends, and the cabbie died on impact. He was on the mission. He had some fun in 0G. But not much. He had slammed his knee into a bulkhead while drunk, and broke the kneecap. He would have a permanent limp. The Undaunted had been announced. He packed his shit, left behind his mil-spec equipment, communicator, and all the other electronic devices, and a letter of resignation. He jumped ship. Later that day, he found himself near the bottom of the slums of Centris. With a gang. Looking at the mixed gang of thugs reminded him of home. He smiled a toothy grin, and stepped up to the second largest member, a Canidor. Hey, honey, are you lost? The Canadan said, leering at him the way he had leered at the girls on the streets back home. He gut-punched her as hard as he could. She doubled over, already starting to gag. He clenched his hands together, and slammed his fists down on her now in reach neck. She fell to the pockmarked pavement. Now look here. The obvious leader started. He held up his left hand in a traditional Vader move, and picked her up by the throat, and with a twinkle in his eye, squeezed. Hard. Too hard. With a sound similar to the crushing of jello, the leader's head separated from her torso, spraying blood everywhere. He looked at the gang of now shocked women. I am in charge now. Any objections? The unkempt, but not dirty street doc's clinic was very off the books, as most of its clients were not allowed in the proper parts of the spire. He was having a bit of an argument with the doc herself. Why, yes. Yes, I'm a threat. Now fix my damn knee. He all but yelled at the street doc. And while you're at it, get me a narc stick. The doc shook her head. Fine. Here. The gob doc handed him the stick from her mouth. And started the Regan process. He laid back on the medical couch, and mused out loud, what is power worth, if you don't use it? I'm going to use mine. With another gleam in his eyes, he smiled.